This video is mainly just for myself. I just had a lovely session with a non-dual facilitator, and in her presence, there's still something in me that rejects the present moment as not good enough. And that's obviously a projection of something inside that feels not good enough. That whole feeling of like, this isn't real. It's not really real. Maybe I'm totally full of shit. Probably I'm totally full of shit. That's like this sort of a center of gravity in my system that I can run and kind of get in an orbit around it, but then the orbit slowly decays and I'm back in the center of gravity, uh, without constant vigilance. And I think I'm somebody, well, I don't think I'm anybody, but my tendency seems to be, uh, I don't want to just learn how to run better so I can keep in the orbit. Like, I don't want to tread water my whole life. It's fucking exhausting. I want to root out the center of gravity so that it's just not there. It's not a problem. It's gone. And that comes from somehow taking taking it seriously without taking it seriously. By which I mean, it's like you got the banks again. You got the banks of taking yourself too seriously. Like my story, my personality, my pain. It's super serious and really important and durable and whatever. And like, doesn't matter. Who cares? Not really me. Kind of like just dissociating from it or pretending it away, right? Somehow you get to the middle where you're not just dissociating, but you're also not just sinking into it as if it's like reifying it, basically. So, how to deify it? No, that's not the right word. De-reify? Um, but how do you meet it, love it, give it what it needed as a personality and didn't get as a child or whatever the situation was? Yeah, and that's it. You meet it. You don't identify with it, but you don't dismiss it either. It's like a tightrope to walk. And again, I don't know why the system is set up like this. We were talking about how, a bird isn't self-aware, so it's just freedom. But there's nothing to appreciate that freedom. Whereas with humans, we're the first ones who we can have stories about stories, thoughts about thoughts, um, self-awareness to such a sophisticated degree that we can tie ourselves up in knots, but we can also find the holes in our own logic. It's like Gödel's incompleteness theorem, but with consciousness itself, with thinking itself. We can see, get all the way in, get all the way to the end of our seeking and realize nothing works. Nothing's going to work. Then what? Then you got to sort of go back to the simplicity of this moment right here. This is it. This emptiness, this fullness, this colorfulness, this sensationalness. Um, and appreciate it. appreciate freedom as opposed to bondage. It's like we got sophisticated enough to put ourselves in bondage, and then sophisticated enough to, to start to unroll that bondage, unravel that bondage. And it's scary as fuck. And I think the sort of the global paroxysms of all this shit that we see is partly because of that vertiginous kind of butterflies in the belly. Holy shit, what is this all about? It's not that, it's not that, it's not that. What then? And so like you go searching for like the last time things seemed good. And, good for who? Good how? Right? But even if it's just kind of a mythology, people would rather have mythology than this feeling of total loss of identity, this feeling of void. Scary enough for me, and it's, I've actually had the experience of the perfection of everything. So I always kind of knew I was coming back to it either before or after I died. Yeah. One or the other, either before I died or when I died. So I haven't had a fear of death for a long, long time. A lot of people are still quite terrified of death, and ironically, it seems to be a lot of um, religious people who get the most head up about it because, atheists or whatever, they're just like, man, void, okay, whatever. Um, they almost take pride in their nihilism, and of course, it is a way to. I mean, that in itself, without any non-duality or anything else, is a way to bring you to the present in a way because it's you're like this is all that I'm guaranteed. Maybe you build a whole cosmology of materialism that or superiority to dumb religious people in their minds. You know that sort of bolsters the ego, but whatever, it works for them, right? Um, but people who are still in a religious mindset who are confronted with the possibility that that whole fairy tale is uh, is under attack by those godless communists or whoever the hell, you know. Um, I don't know. You think people who are secure in their beliefs, in their view of the world, wouldn't act so brittle, wouldn't act so threatened by like movies and drag queens and whatever, It's like it kind of it, their ferocity belies a deep insecurity. And obviously not all religious people. There are some people who for whom like, in Palestine, every religion has its issues, and Islam is certainly one of them. And there's a billion, well, not a billion, but many different ways to interpret Islam and live it, like anything else. Uh, but there is a real sense of there's one creator, we will go back to him, there will be justice, and I think it's a real, and also like whatever's happening is by definition the will of God, of Allah, of the creator of the universe. And that is sufficient. That's the thing they say, Allah is it's sufficient. Um, and when you're facing genocide, a belief like that can be a comfort. And there's a lot of truth to it. I mean, there is, as far as we know, one consciousness, one creator. Uh, it is sufficient. This, whatever's happening, is sufficient, because what else could it be? Who is there to judge that it's not sufficient? There will be, well, there won't be justice in the human sense, but it all comes out in the wash. Everybody's dropping the same ocean, so everybody's a victim and a perpetrator. God is crucifying itself all around us. And if we're lucky, we have a constitution, and there's nobody, it's not about deserving it, it's not about being better than anybody else, it's just happenstance. But some people have a tendency or a proclivity to step out of the story, step out of the out of delusion into the clarity of now, without needing any illusions, without needing any framework, without needing any ideology, without anything that can be taken away, without anything that can be threatened. If you're here right now, somebody can obviously threaten to kill you, but generally speaking, most of us spend most of our time not in mortal danger. Although, of course, in another sense, we're constantly in mortal danger, because we could die or just simply disappear at any moment, as far as we know. But in a given present moment, we're not threatened, we're not dead. And there's nothing to get, there's nothing to be taken away, there's nothing to lose. So what's the problem? It's, you get to this present moment, these colors, these sensations, this breath. Take away all the stories, take away all the thoughts, and you just have this vibrant experience. Are you worthy? Are you unworthy? Well, there's no self to be any of those things. But even if there was, who is anybody to judge somebody unworthy? And I've known this for a while. I've known, the intellect often gets it first, and the body follows, the pain body, the centers of gravity. I'm making this video mostly to remind who am I reminding? To create a reminder that that the center of gravity that wonders if I'm full of shit or unworthy, it's an idea, and it's tied to a body that is human, apparently, that didn't get some of its needs met when it was a small human. That time, that apparent time, is long past. And it's okay that the sensations keep coming. It's okay that the story sometimes piles on top of it. It's okay that the thoughts sometimes spin around themselves. All that is okay. And it's not me. It's something I can observe. Who am I? Some kind of awareness that is simultaneously localized and infinite, existing in parallel with many other consciousnesses in the same state. Some of them, most of them don't know it yet, but there's probably dimensions I still haven't accessed. It's an exploration. This is good enough. Whatever might happen in this eternal moment is exactly what happens.